gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk. I'm your host, Saieed. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight, viewers. It's a fresh week. Those of you who the weather have affected today, we hope that you are home safe from your traveling journey. It's hectic out there in Trinidad and Tobago. Lots of parts of Trinidad and Tobago has been flooded out, mostly in the west. I was up in the west today, all in Port of Spain. Flood like that, Maraval. But nevertheless, viewers, we hope that you are in your home safe. If you're stuck outside, you're tuning into Real Talk, we do thank you. Remember, viewers, we are live on Facebook and YouTube. TT Real Talk, subscribe, hit the bell, like, share, and you will know when we go live. So at the start of our program today, viewers, an update. President Donald Trump has confirmed that the U.S. military again targeted a boat allegedly carrying drugs from Venezuela, killing 3 people on board the vessel. Trump said the strike occurred while these confirmed narco-terrorists from Venezuela were in international water transporting illegal narcotics headed to the U.S. 2 weeks ago, there was a military strike on what the Trump administration says was a drug-carrying speedboat from Venezuela that killed 11. The Trump administration justified the earlier strike as a necessary escalation to stem the flow of drugs into the United States. So Trinidad and Tobago, like I said, this is not our fight. And I want you, the citizen of this country, to understand something. I also want the opposition to understand something. The opposition has been governing Trinidad and Tobago for the last 9.5 solid years and months. And they did absolutely nothing to fix the problem that we are having in Trinidad and Tobago concerning drugs, contraband, and illegal firearm coming into our country. I remember Dr. Keith Rowley said he do not want to turn Trinidad and Tobago into the wild, wild west, and therefore they are not going to issue legal firearm to business owners and home owners. But the thing is, Trinidad and Tobago is already demonstrating a wild, wild west form. Why am I saying that? There are more illegal firearms on the streets than in the hands of legal owners. So they did nothing. That administration did nothing. Now Donald Trump and his administration, they are tired of probably hearing the same thing. Drugs coming into the country, contraband into the country, illegal firearms, and they decided, you know what? We are going to send out our troops in the Caribbean Ocean, on the international ocean. Once we get proper info, we are going to execute by force. Had we had a government thinking like that in our country, gangs would not have expanded. Gangs killing may not be this figure we have today. Turf war, those dying over turf war, we may not even reach that level. But you know what? Nobody did care about anything. Nobody didn't care who died, who live. Serious. And then they get a former commissioner of police who from behind a desk to in the war zone area. You ain't know nothing about the war zone, but you're in there. It's sad. So now we have a administration, the UNC administration, led by Kamala Persad-Bissessar, her second victory into governing Trinidad and Tobago, and she does not want drugs into the country. She does not want illegal firearm entering the country. She do not want illegal contraband entering the country. And therefore, she did say that not long from now, they are going to put things in place to make sure that all the Coast Guard vessels that have been parked up are going to be up and running. Why? To protect our border. Yes, she did side with the United States on saying that if you are bringing drugs into the country, then you are a narco-terrorist You are a drug pusher, you are an illegal gun smuggler, and because of who you are, we don't need you. So many of us would stand with her, some will stand against her. But nevertheless, they have their decisions to make. I have my job to do. So we're going into our current affairs department now, viewers. Minister of Foreign and Caricom Affairs, Sean Sobers, have stated that the work on a proposed migrant policy for Trinidad and Tobago is still ongoing. In May, during a post-cabinet media briefing, Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar has assured that a new migrant policy would be a fair one when it is announced. Minister Sobers confirmed that a team is currently engaged on that policy.
We have a team that is working on that. We know that the public is also anxiously awaiting that. We have had some meetings on it, and we want to engage a little bit more stakeholders in the process first. This is a government that always ever listens first and then lead, and that is what we intend to do.
Switching gears, Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar is expected that there will be a deficit in the 2025-2026 budget. Now she is saying this up front, Trinidad and Tobago. I love this. You know why? Me being in finance for 30 years, I love the boldness. She didn't hide until after the budget to say, well, you know, we end up in a deficit. No, she is not hitting you at 6 for a 9. She is letting you know that there will be a deficit in the 2025-2026 budget. So she's giving you a heads up of what to expect. Now, she stated that the government inherited some real bad treasury stocks. We all know that because $2.3 billion is missing, and to this date, nobody can give account for it on the P&M Administration Ministry of Finance Department. Listen to this video. Satu, one.
I do not believe we will have a balanced budget because we've inherited some really bad treasury stocks. We've inherited a lot of borrowings as well. I don't think we can have a balanced budget, so we may have expenditure outpacing revenues. And so we'll have to find creative ways to supplement those revenues. So in other words, there will be a deficit. And we will have to find ways to finance that deficit.
So Trinidad and Tobago, even though a date has not been fixed, the PM assured that the budget will be read in early October.
It will be early October, not a fixed date yet, but it will be early October, which is not too far away. We're busy working on those. In fact, before I came here, I had a bundle of proposals for the two sides, this revenue and expenditure.
She also said the government will explore solutions to tackle the budget deficit.
It will be early October, not a fixed date yet, but it will be early October, which is not too far away. We're busy working on those. In fact, before I came here, I had a bundle of proposals for the two sides, this revenue and expenditure.
So Trinidad and Tobago, let's hear what Klong and Booth now have to say concerning this. You know, Klong always like to talk. But the only thing Klong could bring to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago as revenue stream being created is more tax upon our citizens. That is the only thing he could bring. And that is the only thing he has done for the last 9 years. It's tax by tax by tax. Even the P&M people. I can't gas me, Dolly. Gasby only said the PNM people and the PNM children. Right? So I am now saying after her, even the PNM people got tired of only tax and tax and tax. Imagine that, Imagine that. As the government prepares its first budget next month, former Finance Minister Clement has predicted that the government will not have enough money to fulfill its campaign promise. You see, I'll tell you something. Clement was the Minister of Finance for 9 years. Clement knows exactly how much money the Treasury has. He's aware of it. Now, he's telling Trinidad and Tobago, I want you all to keep this in mind. The only revenue stream the PNM administration, the Ministry of Finance could have created was more tax upon the citizens. He raised gas price 3 times until some of you had to park down your car. I want you all to keep that in mind. This same Clement. Now Clement is telling Trinidad and Tobago that this government does not have enough money to fund its campaign. So my thing is, how much money did the Ministry of Finance created or revenue stream created to put in the Treasury for 9 years? 9 years. And to Clement, but also, how is it? I've given all of this to remind all of some incidents that happened. How is it? The Auditor General, when they did their audits, receipts were missing. Paper trail they couldn't even find for money spent, Clement. But now here you are trying to tell Trinidad and Tobago that this government don't have money. Clement, any wise thinking individual, right, would understand that if I am in office for 9 years, and a few months ago, I lost my position, and another party, another individual inherits my position, and me now coming to tell all you, them may have no money. People will be looking at me as a clown. You know why? You know why? I would have known how much money it had. And to say that a next party has no money to govern Trinidad and Tobago, which means I didn't create revenue stream to put there. Which means I bad manage the Treasury. Which means I spend money willfully. So remember that, Remember that. Imbert said he heard the government will be presenting a $15 to $20 billion budget deficit. Listen to this.
I thought they were going to balance the budget. So now it's a deficit. I'm hearing it's 15 billion, could be 20 billion. If it's in that range, that means that our debt is going to skyrocket. It's not good for us. But I thought they had all the answers and we're going to balance the budget, so I'll wait and see. Maybe that's a rumor.
He said it is not good for us. I want all to remember. I want all to remember that was the Minister of Finance for 9 years. 9 years. What was the growth of the Treasury when they inherited? So what was the growth of the Treasury to when they left office? Imagine that, The former Minister of Finance saying that this budget is going to be a deficit budget. So let me read reality into all you. He would know why. Because if the Treasury has no money, which means they created no money to put back in the Treasury. And it's simple as that. It is that simple. If I come in to tell you, well, boy, they had no money, well, then I was lapsing at my job. I did not bring out revenues or created jobs or created avenues to make money that the Treasury would have. In other words, I left the Treasury broke. So in other words, why telling all you? Common sense. Call her good night.
Good evening, Saeed. How are you?
I'm fine. Go right ahead, my friend. You're live.
these people are confessing of the evil that they did.
Yes.
And people are not paying attention.
Exactly.
They knew it has no money. And they're trying to fool the people.
Correct.
But people need to open their eyes, open their ears, and pay attention.
Yes.
Their conscience is bothering them with all the money they stole and ran with. Right? And now how he know that there's no money to govern? Obviously they stole the money. Right?
Correct.
What they had, they stole. So it's ridiculous. So people need to wake up and pay attention and listen to them properly. Right? They're not paying attention. Listen, there's no money, there's no money. They know there's no money. When they came in, they said there was no money, but yet they lived so happily for the 9 years, 10 years, and now there is really no money because they stole it and misused it and abused it and stole it. Because I'm looking at this stuff and it's just ridiculous. You know? It's really ridiculous.
Thank you, my friend.
Good evening.
Thank you, my friend. So Trinidad and Tobago, I want to ask you something. If, perchance, PNM did win this general election, how you think you would have survived? Remember what Cloggibert is telling earlier. The Treasury have no money. The UNC administration have no money. So do you think the PNM administration would have had money? So all these contracts, let me flip the page, let me look at things different now. So all these contracts now that they have extended for CPEP, URP, reforestation, what about all the payment of contracts now that the UNC have inherited? You think the PNM would have been able to pay that? What about all those rental buildings that the PNM have contracts with? Do you think they would have been able to support that? I'm asking you a question. I'm asking the PNM people a question. I'm asking the UNC people a question. I'm asking the PEP people a question. Do you think the Ministry of Finance would have been able to fund all those payments from 2025 to 2030 under the PNM administration? I am asking you all that. Cloggibert saying there is no money. There is no money. So how now the PNM would have been able to finance all the projects? How the PNM would have been able to pay contracts that were extended from 2025 to 2028? Oh, let's say something now, man. This is the common sense. This is the part that all don't look at. And this is the part I will bring to you to open your eyes. Cloggibert is saying the UNC has no money. The Treasury has no money for the UNC to support their campaign promise. So what about the promise now that the PNM made on their campaign trail? Did the Treasury have money for that? You will get your answer right here. Although he expected a balanced budget, there will be no reduction on public debt or back pay to public servants, which could run into $20 to $30 billion. Hey, the Treasury had no money in it, okay? But the Salary Review Commission found it fit to raise 900 high-ranking individuals' salary in Trinidad and Tobago. Could Colin Member say something about that now? I want you all to understand. Cloggibert is saying that this government is broke. So if this government is broke, which means there is no money in the Treasury for this government to spend. So how come they have money now? The Salary Review Commission, if it have no money, how they manage to raise the salary of 900 high-ranking individuals in Trinidad and Tobago? Where did that money come from now? I want to ask Cloggibert that. Where was CPEP going to get money for the next 5 years? Well, let's say something now. All I now realized why WASA was going to raise water. All I now realized why all I had to pay a higher TNTEC bill. All are now realizing that. While all are realizing that, ask Marvin why he didn't pay TNTEC and WASA bill. Ask Marvin why the government ministries didn't pay TNTEC. And ask Marvin why it is the citizens now have to contribute now to the government owing TNTEC. Ask Marvin that. We love Clongenbert. We love Clongenbert. The Clongenbert telling all now, there is no money. It's sad, yes? He noted that the deficit budget will likely lead to rising public debt and more problems. Listen to Clongenbert now.
It has always been difficult. So, by having a budget with a huge deficit, you're just creating more problems. And my understanding is that huge deficit does not take into account all the promises they made, like the 10%, for example. That runs into the billions, another 2-3 billion per year, 20-30 billion in back pay. That $15 billion deficit that I'm hearing about, hopefully it's not true, does not include back pay and wage increases. Okay?
I have a story for all you. When all you hear that story, I will pull back the Clongenbert clip so all you can open all your eyes as citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Now, all you can realize why it is scientists be like this and why is it that I named this program Real Talk. All you can see just now, have a little patience, maybe after this break. As the government prepares its first budget next month, former Finance Minister Clongenbert have predicted the government will not have enough money to fuel its campaign. But the government, listen this, the Salary Review Commission raised them but them salary. So that's why I asked all just now, how is it that if the PNM did win the 2025 to 2030 general election, how they was going to fund all them campaign? How they were going to fund projects? How they were going to continue with CPEP and URP and reforestation, and how it is that they're going to get money to buy medical supplies. You know who's going to pay for that? More tax on all your tail. More tax on all your tail. Now, listen to this, Embert's own tenure as finance minister of Trinidad and Tobago, total general government debit in 2024 was estimated at 143.31 billion, up from 141.55 billion in 2023. So it went up. In 2023, it was 141.55 billion in 2023. And under Clong, it went up to 143.31 billion in 2024. Imagine that, So what was Clongenbert doing all the time? Now will you understand why the property tax come in? All you have to pay property tax. All your salary cut down. But they got an increase in salary. How do you like that? Give all yourself a round of applause, Trinidad and Tobago, for not opening all your eyes. Give yourself that round of applause. You see why I'm in finance now? Now will I realize why Real Talk Financing growing? Because there's a smart head behind it. A smart head. Imagine that, Imagine that. All your salary got cut shorter because of taxes they laid out for you all to pay. But they got an increase. You understand? No wonder why Marvin Gonzalez is telling all you have to carry out all your children one time for the month, while they increase now carrying their children out. Their luxury life increased. But Clongenbert saying there is no money. Does this make sense? They wanted to what? Raise WASA bill, raise electricity rate. Why? While they got an increase, your salary was cut in piece by piece. Your spending money became thinner and thinner until there may not even be any to spend. You all did notice that? Nobody else is going to tell all you like how Saieed is tell all you. Nobody else. Because everybody else wants to keep you in the bubble to let you know, well, hey, everything going good, everything smooth. Klangenberg lost the election, he lost his position, he's no longer the Minister of Finance. But Klangenberg is saying now, there is no money for this government to spend. So I'm asking myself now, did I ask myself, I said, so here it is. If Klangenberg is saying there is no money to spend, this government cannot maintain this country. This government can't pay their bills. This government going in a deficit. This government going to be owing people. I ask myself, if PNM did win the next 5 years, how they were going to manage? By bringing out more taxes? By bringing out more taxes. Crime raising. Number one. Why crime is going to raise? Because the people need money to pay their bill. And if they don't have no money, Saieed have money, we could rob Saieed. John have money, we go rob John. Harry have money, we go rob Harry. Mary have money, Mary now buy a new car. We go thief Mary new car, we go sell it. It boils down back to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Imagine that. Imagine that. But nevertheless, Trinidad and Tobago, nevertheless, the PNM made promise and some never materialized. The UNC made promise. They are in government and they are trying to deal with it. Remember, what I want to let you remember, while Klangenberg is saying there is no money for this government to spend, I want you all to remember when Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, a former Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago and a former National Security Council chair, said Trinidad and Tobago have money for 3 days. How many of you remember that? A week or 2 weeks after $3 million painting went in the office. I wonder if that was the 3 days money. Open all your eyes, citizens. Open all your eyes. I'm not here to fight who party better than who party, you know. No, that's not my thing. My thing is to open all your eyes so all you could see what is taking place. That is my thing. I'm here to condemn all you, you know. I'm here to open all your eyes. I'm here to educate you all. So listen and look at reality, what is taking place around you. That is why I am here. So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break. We'll be right back with more on Real Talk.
We'll be right back.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Throws you a curveball, and you need a clear path forward. Trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Welcome back.
So, Trinidad and Tobago, members of the media have criticized Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissess's absence from post-cabinet briefing, calling for more direct engagement. At last Thursday post-cabinet briefing, the Prime Minister's absence was questioned during a week when she faced criticism from Venezuelan government. Parliamentarian Secretary in the Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, Nicholas Morris, who moderates the briefing, defended the Prime Minister. Before we go to that clip, Trinidad and Tobago, let me tell you something. The Prime Minister does not have to be in a briefing. There are other individuals, for those of you who do not know, and the media is supposed to understand this. The Prime Minister has assistants to pick up roles if she or he is not there. It's the same thing as a boss in a business. If he is not there, there's assistants to carry about a meeting. So why is the media blaming her for this? Do they lack common sense also? I don't know, I'm just asking. It's sad that the media would criticize her. So if Saieed have to go to a meeting and Saieed can't come and I send an assistant, that whole meeting will criticize me? Why you think I'm paying an assistant? Huh? Why you think Kamala is paying assistants? Oh God, somehow I get through all a thick skull. It's sad to know all the highly educated, highly educated and thinking like a 3-year-old child. It's sad. Do we have little children in the media? Lack of knowledge, lack of sense, lack of common sense? I don't know, I'm asking. Because I've been on this platform for 9 years. For 9 solid years without asking anybody for 1 cent to pay synergy. It's sad the media would criticize. I wasn't hearing the media criticizing Dr. Rowley when he said meet you on the pavement. I didn't hear no media. I didn't hear nobody criticize him. I didn't hear no media criticize Dr. Rowley when they said, we know of the government. So if nobody want to talk about it, I talk about it tonight. You cannot criticize the Prime Minister for not attending there. She have assistants. She have other ministers to follow up on meetings. It's sad. It's sad. All criticize it. All one-sided. If that's all I think, well, better all should even go to ask questions then. All should even go to ask questions if this is what all you're doing. But nevertheless, Trinidad and Tobago, if they lack common sense, you can't blame them. Listen to this video.
All members of the public would have noted this week in all of your papers, from The Guardian to The Express, the Prime Minister had a number of statements on that issue. So the Prime Minister has been very accessible. She has spoken a lot on that issue. Today we have cabinet. The Prime Minister is engaged in a number of meetings, but the Prime Minister has always been accessible and commented on that issue. And so the Prime Minister, I'm sure, if you use the channels, you will access her just the same way that your media house would have printed statements from the Prime Minister in the past week.
He said it perfect. He said it perfect. I am not picking up for anyone. But let me tell you something. Common sense. This pass any book sense, you know. Call good night.
Good night, Mr. Saieed. Great program as usual. And it can't get better than this. You continue to bring knowledge and education to the citizens of this country. So don't study the other media houses and them, you know. Your program, it has such a great impact and significant impact on the majority of citizens in this country, you know, including a group that I am part of. We have about 10 people in our group right now, retired military and security personnel that serve in national security for over 25, 30 years. That's why when I present my facts to you, just as you present the facts to the citizens, we discuss before we present it to you. So those media houses, and that is their job, and people even hardly look at their program, because this country, I'm telling you, this country has knowledgeable, intelligent people that use common sense and educated, like yourself. So we mustn't spend too much time with them. We must keep focused on what you are doing and educate the citizens of this country. Anyway, you know, with reference to the Forex, we have Guyana, we have all these Caribbean countries that you could go to a supermarket in Mapala and purchase with US. And if, I don't know, with your knowledge and so on, if we open up the market, that, you know, when people come here, they can go to the store and shop with the US. It is an offense, right? If they catch you, they can charge you, I understand, right?
Yes.
So if we open up the market, free up the market, that people can spend the US anywhere.
Correct.
I think that will solve a lot of our Forex problem, you know, because
Yes.
some other countries, Caribbean countries, don't have a problem with it, right?
No, they don't.
Margarita, Venezuela, they don't have a problem with that. The man selling on a bicycle side the road, you could go and spend US to buy oranges or anything from him. So, Mr. Saieed, I know you have a lot of influence. I know a lot of politicians listen to your great program, and you must keep focusing on it, and let's see where we're going to reach. And I believe we will do good with this. And you know, so the citizen who want to travel and can get $100 in the bank, he might be able to go to a store or somebody and say, hey, look, I'm going to purchase $100. I want $100 to purchase.
Correct.
You know what I mean, Mr. Saieed? So you people be great work you're doing. And from my group that we started off with about 5 people. Now we have 15 people in the group, and we analyze what you say and showers of praises and gratitude for the work you are doing to educate the people in this country and present the facts to the people in this country. We have a lot of facts to present on your program, but you know, it takes so much time. I want to talk about the FUL permit and all of these things. You know, and I wanted the citizens to know. A lot of citizens, they have it on the social media. They label a commissioner of this country as the greatest conman this country we will ever see in this country. So, Mr. Saieed, you keep up the great work you are doing. There are more to follow. God bless you and your staff, Mr. Saieed.
Thank you, my friend. And just to top off on what you said, when I go Guyana, we just spend Guyanese on the street, Guyanese dollar on the street, and US dollar on the street. When I go Panama and Venezuela, we just spend Bolivar in the store and US currency in the store also. They open for it. They open for it. It's only Trinidad and Tobago suffering, you know. You know why? You want to know why? We have people in society, in parliament, that wants to make sure third world belong to third world. They want to make sure that we do not grow. Look at Guyana now. Guyana is booming because they're managing properly. Properly. Look what happened to Venezuela. Venezuela have the second best crude. Venezuela have the second best crude oil in the world, I should say. And look at the country. Look at the country. Why? Bad management. Bad management. Call her good night.
Good night, Mr. Saieed.
Go right ahead, your life.
Great show, great show.
Thank you.
But I'm just calling to highlight something on your show.
Go right ahead.
That NIS, you know how long that old mister applied for his retirement and he's waiting 7 months now and nothing. And the man have nothing. Just want to highlight that. Let the minister and them hear what's going on.
Thank you, my dear.
Okay, thanks.
So viewers, questions also arose regarding Finance Minister Devendranath Tanku, who has been less available since taking office, and instructions that all questions be sent via email. Watch me now. If the man not available to come and sit down in a chair in front of your face, for it is how many buttons he have on the forehead, the man still telling you send that email, you will get your questions answered. I could imagine how we just twist some of the things, you know. It's sad, you know. Not picking up for anyone, like I said. But the man now come into office about 4 months now. Let's say about 3 months now, he has assumed the position. Budget is coming up. There's a lot of order taking place. But he is still there. Send that email. You will get a response. Listen to this video now.
Minister of Finance has always been engaging with you all. The entire government, this has been one of the one of the most successful governments. One thing we must clarify is that, as you would see, that this is a cabinet media briefing, not really a post-cabinet media briefing, because many days when you come here, the cabinet is still meeting. This is a government that takes our agenda quite seriously, and the cabinet it continues to meet is meeting whole day when you come here. So you only have ministers who can leave the room to address you, while other ministers are engaged in national business.
It's simple, it's effective, and it's straightforward. It's straightforward. And this is what I don't understand. Why are you taking a 6 and making it into a 9? To manipulate the people. The man then fly out. The man in parliament. Send that email, you will get a response. You want to sit down in front of him to see what if he gets sunburned? Oh gosh, come on man, we too small for these things. Grow up, all of these big people in the media. Grow up. Opposition leader Penelope Beckers has repeatedly criticized Prasad Bisasa for responding to the media via WhatsApp rather than holding media briefing. Listen to Penelope.
Because this is governance by WhatsApp. Every question is by WhatsApp. We in the People's National Movement are making ourselves available on a daily basis.
Penelope, I gotta just leave it to bump your gum right now. I ain't ready for you as yet. Penelope. So Trinidad and Tobago, we're going for a commercial break. But when we come back from this break, listen to the victory that the NIB got right after this.
We'll be right back.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
you a curveball. And you need a clear path forward. Trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Welcome back.
And Tobago. Prime Minister Kamala Prasad Bisasa has instructed the National Insurance Board of Trinidad and Tobago, NIBTT, to honor its commitment to the Public Service Association, the PSA, and pay outstanding monies owed. I want to let you understand this, Money owed to workers from 2014 to 2016 negotiation period. Step by step, I want to let you understand. Listen to this first video clip.
My cabinet has directed the NIBTT to do the following: to implement the agreed salary adjustments with immediate effect, to facilitate the full and prompt payment of all outstanding arrears to affected employees without delay. I make bold as to say, this is not merely the execution of a contract. This is the restoration of justice and fulfillment of our workers' agenda.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, this move will cost the state around $100 million. However, it will benefit 950 people. And the NIBTT said the money will be paid this month. Speaking in the parliament, Prasad Bisasa said that persons have been denied salary increase for over 12 years. Listen to this now.
A legally binding collective agreement entered into between the PSA and the NIBTT covered the period January 1st, 2014 to December 31st, 2016. In doing so, they denied 600 current employees and 350 past employees their lawful entitlements for many years, effectively withholding salary increases that had been due for over 12 years. They placed political interference above the law. They sacrificed justice on the altar of expediency, and in the process, they robbed thousands of our citizens of their rightful salary adjustments.
So Trinidad and Tobago, listen this now. The president of the Public Service Association, PSA, Felicia Thomas, stated that the employees of NIBTT are now free from political victimization that had delayed their payments for more than a decade. Listen to this.
It was unfortunate. It was unfortunate to know that an organization that is self-sufficient and did not require funding from the government to pay their workers were withheld from doing so just for political gain. It was unfortunate, and today the workers, they are free from that type of victimization.
So Trinidad and Tobago, Ms. Thomas said they are free from the political gain. So listen to this now. Listen to reality now, what I'm about to tell you. Kate Rowley always telling the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago to tighten their belt. Clungenberg always saying there's no money, there's no money, there's no money. The gas running out, the oil running out, we have no money to pay. Wean off the government. Marvin telling us, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, to carry out your children one time for the month. Property tax. Anywhere you go, you're paying taxes. They give you $1, they take back $2. And that's how the system went. That is how the system went. Now keep in mind, Clungenberg saying there's no money, right? There's no money. Dr. Rowley always saying tighten your belt. the Salary Review Commission found it fit to raise the salary of 900 high-ranking individuals. Now, let Clongenbert now bump his gum. I want Stuart Young now to bump his gum. I want Penelope Beckers now to bump your gum. Where is Dr. Keith Rowley again? NIB, self-sufficient, do not need the government intervention. But they were what? Told to don't pay anyone. Don't pay anyone. Those people already worked for their money. They already worked for their money. They deserve their money. But somebody gave them the order. Don't touch that money. Don't pay nobody. This is the reality I just be bringing to all you. I want you all to listen. And I want you all to understand the kind of individuals that were governing Trinidad and Tobago. You will tell me, run back that video one more time. And Tobago, listen to the words that coming out Felicia's mouth. Listen it.
While the last administration would have withheld their rightful increases in salaries, that this administration, the UNC government, they have ensured that this registered collective agreement is honored, and today the workers are celebrating. No, because this 2014 to 2016 negotiating period was already settled, signed between the parties, that being the PSA and the NIBTT. It had already been settled, registered in the court, and it was just a matter of giving the NIBTT the authorization to pay the increase in salary and the outstanding arrears relative to the settlement.
12 years now, they're still waiting for authorization. 12 years now. 12 years. Imagine that. It's sad. It's sad. NIBTT does not need an intervention from the government. Why am I saying this? Run back the first clip.
My cabinet has directed the NIBTT to do the following: to implement the agreed salary adjustments with immediate effect, to facilitate the full and prompt payment of all outstanding arrears to affected employees without delay. I make bold as to say, this is not merely the execution of a contract.
It was unfortunate. It was unfortunate to know that an organization that is self-sufficient and did not require funding from the government to pay their workers were withheld from doing so just for political gain. It was unfortunate, and today the workers, they are free from that type of victimization.
So Trinidad and Tobago, when all are calling inside and say, "Side, you're bashing and you're bashing and you're bashing," this is the bashing that is be talking about. Imagine NIBTT does not need an intervention from the government. They does not need it. They had the money to pay their employees, their workers, for a decade. It was signed and sealed in the court. Who tell them not to pay the money? Let's see what we're talking about now. So when I tell all you, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, you all were being taken advantage of. I know why. I know why. NIBTT did not need Clongenbert to go to Parliament to release funds. They have their money. They do not need the government. But somebody with high-ranking power, tell them no, they don't pay no money. What happened now? What happened now? It's sad. Oh, side, you're bashing. Oh, let's see what is coming here and bash for now. Oh, now see? So when I tell all you, I push out to get the pothole fixed in front of your house. Trust me. Because every week you go to the damn tire shop to pay to fix that same tire. But I bashing. Your money going down, not mine. I'm trying to fix the road. Push for government to fix road. Highlight ministers, put them on spot. So you could save a little dollar more to spend with your family, but Saieed bashing. Nevertheless, this is the reality we live in today. This is the reality. Hey, Trinidad and Tobago, we need to open our eyes. We need to understand where we was and where we want to be. You know why I decided to keep this program? Funded from my own pocket. We have about 2 minutes. I'll tell you why. When crime started to run rampant in Trinidad and Tobago, I said, nah. Somebody had to stand up and do something. Somebody had to stand up and face in government. UNC facing PNM facing UNC only in the parliament. On the outside, nothing is being done. I wonder how Rohan Sinana now is feeling to know that he was the worst Minister of Works and Transport in Trinidad and Tobago, because look at the condition of the road. Look at it. All of the Caribbean, all over the world that we'll be talking about, Trinidad have a pitch lake and look at the state of the road. Who's the Minister of Works and Transport? You know how degrading that is, you know how bad that looking now? What about Keith Rowley? Keith Rowley come in. The country have money to run for 3 days. $2.3 billion missing, and to date nobody can give an account for it. But Clungenberg saying this UNC government have no money. Think about that. So where did the Salary Review Commission now, how they see it fit that Clungenberg should get increase? Ask yourself. So viewers, we must say good night until.